There's a stretch of land in the mountains of New Zealand, beside a lake most people can't even pronounce, that belongs to one of the most powerful men in Silicon Valley. He didn't buy it for the view. He bought it as an escape hatch, somewhere to disappear when the rest of the world stops working. He is not alone. And New Zealand is just one of 5 countries. In February 2026, billionaire investor Ray Dalio went on television and warned the world was, in his words, on the brink of a capital war, a moment when money itself becomes a weapon. But while he was warning the public, the ultra-wealthy had already made their move. Quietly. Years ago. This is where they put their money when they believe the system is about to break. Because billionaires don't panic. They prepare. And when you track what they actually buy are not what they say, what they buy, our pattern appears. 5 countries. 5 completely different reasons. Each one a different kind of insurance policy against a different kind of collapse. We're going to open all 5. Starting with the one built for the end of the world. New Zealand. On paper, it's a quiet country of 5 million people and 30 million sheep. To a billionaire, it's the perfect bunker. It's remote, 1,000 miles from anywhere. It's stable. It grows its own food. If global supply chains ever snap, it can survive on its own. Peter Thiel, the man behind PayPal, an early backer of Facebook, understood this early. He bought a sprawling estate near Lake Wanaka and in secret was granted New Zealand citizenship after spending just 12 days in the country. Sam Altman, the head of OpenAI, has openly admitted his apocalypse plan involves flying to New Zealand. In 2018, the country banned foreigners from buying homes. But notice, the ultra-wealthy kept getting in anyway, through investor exemptions. The door said closed. For billionaires, it stayed open. And New Zealand farmland has quietly climbed 6 to 8% every single year. The bolt hole pays you to own it. Now the second country is the one you'd never expect, because it's the one they keep telling you is the problem. The United States. While the headlines scream about the dollar and the debt, one of America's most famous billionaires has been quietly buying the one thing they're not making any more of, farmland. Bill Gates is now the single largest private owner of farmland in America, around 275,000 acres, across nearly 20 states. Louisiana. Arkansas. Nebraska. Why dirt? Because farmland barely moves when markets crash. It doesn't vanish in a bank collapse. It feeds people in every economy that has ever existed. Gates didn't buy gold. He didn't buy crypto. He bought the ground itself and rented it back to the farmers who work it. When a billionaire wants to hide money in plain sight, he buries it in soil. The third country, almost nobody talks about. Paraguay. A landlocked nation in the heart of South America, and one of the best-kept secrets among the global rich. Here's what they're really buying. Beneath Paraguay sits the Guaraní Aquifer, one of the largest reserves of fresh water on the entire planet. In a century where serious people predict wars over water, that is the ultimate asset. The Bush family reportedly secured around 300,000 acres sitting near it. And the land is cheap, $5,000 to $10,000 a hectare, a fraction of what you'd pay in America or Europe. Add low taxes and easy residency, and Paraguay becomes a quiet vault, own the water, own the land, owe almost nothing. While the world watches the superpowers, the smart money is buying the aquifer underneath a country most people can't find on a map. The fourth country doesn't hide. It advertises. The United Arab Emirates, and specifically, Dubai. In 2026, the UAE became the #1 destination on Earth for migrating millionaires. A record net inflow of more than 7,000 of them in a single year. They are not coming for the weather. They're coming for one number, 0. 0 income tax. 0 capital gains tax. 0 tax on wealth. Dubai built a machine to capture the world's money, the golden visa to keep you, the towers to house you, a banking system designed for family offices and crypto fortunes. When governments everywhere are hunting for new ways to tax the rich are simply leaving and landing in a city that promises to take nothing. The old tax havens hid your money. Dubai invites you to come live next to it. Which brings us to the fifth country, and the most surprising, because it shouldn't make this list at all. Italy. Italy has high taxes. It always has. But in 2024, it offered the global rich a deal they couldn't refuse. Move to Italy, and no matter how much you earn abroad, 10 million, 10 billion, you pay one flat tax. Originally €100,000 a year. Then 200,000. And in the 2026 budget, raised again to €300,000. To you and me, 300,000 a year sounds enormous. To a billionaire earning that every few hours, it's a rounding error, and it erases every other tax they would owe. The result, a flood of the ultra-wealthy, many fleeing Britain after it scrapped its own old tax breaks, pouring into Milan. Italy didn't lower taxes for everyone. It put a price tag on freedom, and the billionaires lined up to pay it. So look at the pattern. New Zealand, escape the collapse. America, hide wealth in the ground. Paraguay, own the water. Dubai, escape the tax. Italy, buy a private deal. 5 countries. One single instinct, get out before the door closes. Because that's what the richest people on earth are really buying. Not houses. Not views. They're buying exits, insurance against the very system they helped build. Ray Dalio called it a capital war. The billionaires aren't waiting to find out if he's right. They've already chosen their ground. Which leaves the one question nobody at the top will say out loud: if the people with the most money are this busy preparing to leave, what exactly do they know that we don't? That's one file, decoded. Country Cipher opens the world's money, power, and secrets, one country at a time. The rich already know where the exits are. Subscribe, and we'll keep finding them until none of it stays buried.